Okay, Alex? I want you to think about the most visually hostile, psychologically draining environment in the entire retail world. A place with unforgiving lighting, mirrors that seem to have a personal vendetta against you, and a profound sense of vulnerability.
Oh, wow. That is a very dramatic way to start. But I know exactly where you're going. The fitting room.
The fitting room. Yes. Specifically, the moment you step out of the fitting room to show someone your outfit, and you have to ask for their honest opinion.
It is a nightmare. Sophia. A brightly lit. 3. Way mirror nightmare. On a scale of 1 to 10. My anxiety in a fitting room is easily an 8. Maybe a 9 if the pants are slightly tight, and I have to do that awkward little jump to get them over my hips.
Laughs. The classic retail jump. I know it well. But think about it from a language learner's perspective. You are already feeling self-conscious about your body in those clothes. And on top of that, you have to communicate with a shop assistant, ask for a different size, or explain why something doesn't work. All in a second language.
Exactly. It is like a double layer of vulnerability. In my native language, I can be charming. I can joke with the shop assistant. I can say, well, this jacket makes me look like a retired detective. Do you have anything more modern? But in English, my brain freezes. I just point at the garment and say, this is not good. Do you have a bigger?
Do you have a bigger?
Yes. And then I immediately realize how caveman, like that sounds, me want bigger. I'm a grown man, a senior software developer. But in the clothing store, I revert to a toddler pointing at things.
I completely understand that. Clothing stores have their own specific vocabulary. And when you are put on the spot, it is so easy to default to the most basic words. But before we get into the specific vocabulary, I have to ask, do you have a specific traumatic fitting room or shopping story? Because I can hear the hesitation in your voice.
I was hoping we would skip this part, but I know the rules of this podcast. Okay, fine. It was about a year ago. I had a very important dinner reservation. A nice restaurant, maybe a little upscale. I decided I needed to buy a new, smart, casual jacket. Something that said, I am successful, but I am also relaxed and fun.
I love this. You went in with a clear vision. The successful but relaxed aesthetic.
I did. I went to this nice department store. I found this beautiful navy blue blazer. I tried it on in the fitting room. It fit perfectly. I felt like $1,000,000. I felt like George Clooney, but with better hair.
A bold claim, but I will allow it.
Thank you. So, I bought it. I wore it to the dinner. Everything was going great. But then, I went to reach for my wallet to pay the bill, and I heard a terrible sound. Rurp.
Oh no!
Yes. The lining of the jacket, right under the arm, had completely torn open. I had to sit there for the rest of the dinner, keeping my arm glued to my side, pretending I was just very composed and still.
Laughs, the composed and still strategy. I have used that when I had a stain on my shirt.
Exactly. But the next day, I took the jacket back to the store to return it. I was a little nervous, but I had the jacket, I had the bag, and I thought I had the receipt. I walked up to the customer service desk. The woman there was very polite. She looked at the jacket, looked at the tear, and then looked at me. She said, "Do you have your receipt?"
The classic first line of defense.
Yes. I reached into my pocket. I reached into the bag. I checked my email. Nothing. I had lost the receipt. I panicked. I knew this was bad, but I tried to be honest and charming. I smiled and said, "I do not have the paper receipt, but I have the memory of buying it. And I have the jacket. Is that enough credit?"
Is that enough credit?
Yes.
Alex? No.
I said it. Is that enough credit? I thought credit meant trust or reputation. I thought I was saying, "Is my honest word and this physical jacket enough trust for you to give me my money back?"
Bursts into laughter. Oh my gosh. I am losing my mind. What did the customer service woman's face do?
She blinked slowly. She looked at the torn jacket, then back at me, and she said, very gently, "Sir, without a receipt, I cannot give you a cash refund, but I can offer you store credit."
Wiping away tears. Oh, Alex. That is incredible.
And my brain, still stuck on the word credit, nodded enthusiastically and said, "Oh, wonderful. I'm glad you think I am a credit to your store. I am a very reliable customer."
I cannot breathe. I am actually crying. You tried to accept a compliment about your reputation while you were trying to get your money back for a ripped jacket.
I did. I stood there, beaming with pride about my reliability, while she just stared at me, holding a torn navy blue blazer. Finally, she sighed, typed something into her computer, and handed me a plastic gift card. She said, "Here is your store credit. You can use it to buy anything else in the store."
And the penny finally dropped.
The penny dropped so hard it broke the floor. Store credit. It is not a compliment about my character. It is literally just money that is trapped inside that specific store. I couldn't even get my own money back. I just got a gift card to buy another jacket that might also rip.
Okay. First of all, that is a hilarious story. Second of all, I promise you, that customer service worker probably went on her break and told her coworkers. You won't believe the guy who thought store credit was a personality compliment.
I know. It is humiliating, but it highlights a real problem. Words like credit, refund, exchange, and receipt are so common, but when you are nervous, your brain grabs the wrong definition.
That is completely normal. Credit is a perfect example of a word with multiple meanings. In banking, it is money. In school, it is a unit of learning. And in retail, store credit is a specific type of refund that is locked to that business.
So, what should I have said? Give me the toolkit. How do I handle a return without a receipt, without sounding like I am auditioning for a character reference?
Okay, let's demystify retail vocabulary. If you don't have a receipt, the most natural, B1, B2 way to handle it is to be polite but direct about your goal. You can say, I don't have the receipt with me, but I paid with my credit card. Can you look up the purchase?
Can you look up the purchase? That is so smart. It offers a solution instead of just stating the problem.
Exactly. And if they say they can't find it, or if you paid in cash, you can ask, is it possible to get store credit or an even exchange for a different size?
Even exchange. I like that. It means I give you the jacket. You give me a new jacket, and no money changes hands.
Yes. And notice the phrase store credit. It is always 2 words. It is not a compliment. It is a noun phrase meaning money that can only be spent in this store. Another huge one to know is final sale.
Oh, I have seen that on tags. Final sale. I always thought it meant the sale was very exciting and conclusive. Like, this is the final, ultimate sale.
Laughs, I wish. No. Final sale is the retail equivalent of no returns, no exchanges, no refunds. It means once you buy it, it is yours forever, even if it rips under the arm.
That is a trap. Why do they not just say no returns?
Because final sale sounds more official and legal, but the meaning is the same. If you see final sale, you have to be 100% sure you want it.
Okay, I am writing this down. Store credit. Even exchange. Look up the purchase. And final sale. This is incredibly helpful. But Sophia, there is another part of the shopping experience that terrifies me even more than the return desk.
Oh no! What is it?
The fitting room attendant. The person who stands outside the little curtain and controls your fate.
Ah, the gatekeeper of the fitting rooms.
Yes, in my country, you just take the clothes into the room. But here, there is always a person at the desk. And they always ask me questions that I am not prepared for. The other day, I walked up with 3 shirts. The attendant looked at me and said, "How many pieces?"
That is a very standard question. They need to know how many hangers to give you or how many items to track.
I know that now. But in that moment, my brain circuited. How many pieces? I thought, pieces of what? Of clothing. Of me? I panicked. I held up the 3 shirts, and I said, very seriously, 3 pieces, but I am only one person.
Bursts into laughter. Oh, Alex? No. You thought she was asking how many pieces of you there were?
I did. I thought it was a weird security question. Like, are you a complete person? Or are you in pieces? I was so nervous that my brain went to the most literal, absurd place.
I'm wheezing. I am actually crying. What did the attendant say?
She just stared at me. She slowly counted the hangers in my hand. 1, 2, 3. Okay, fitting room. 4 is open. She didn't even acknowledge my comment about being one person. She just sent me to room 4.
She was a professional. She ignored the weirdness and just did her job. But Alex, this is a perfect example of how our anxiety creates these bizarre linguistic moments. How many pieces? Just means, how many items of clothing are you bringing in?
I know that now. But in the moment, it felt like a test I was failing. And then, when I am inside the fitting room, the lighting is always so harsh. It is like an interrogation lamp.
The fitting room lighting is notoriously unflattering. It is a universal truth.
Yes. And I start doubting everything. Do these pants make me look strange? Is this color wrong? And then I have to open the curtain just a tiny bit and ask the attendant, "Do you have this in a different size?"
And that is where the vocabulary really matters. Because if you just say, "Do you have a bigger?" it sounds a bit demanding or incomplete.
Exactly. So, what is the natural way to ask?
You can say, "Could I try this in a size medium? Please?" Or, "Do you happen to have this in a different color?" Adding "could I?" or "do you happen to have?" softens the request and makes it sound very polite and natural.
Do you happen to have? I like that. It sounds like I'm not assuming they have it, which is polite.
Exactly. And another great phrase is, "I'm going to take these, but could I leave this one here?"
I'm going to take these, but could I leave this one here? That is perfect for when you are buying two things, but rejecting the third.
Yes, it is clear. It is polite. And it saves the attendant from having to guess what you're doing. Now, since we are on the topic of fitting rooms and returns, I want to try something with you. A little role play.
Oh no. I knew this was coming. My imaginary jacket is already ripped.
It will be fun. I promise. And it is great practice. I'm going to be the customer service manager. You're going to come to the desk to return a shirt that shrank in the wash. You do not have the receipt, but you paid with a credit card. You are going to be polite, but firm about getting a resolution. Ready?
Okay? I'm ready. No reputation credits. No talking about being one person.
Perfect. Shifts posture. Adopts a polite but slightly guarded retail voice. Hi there. How can I help you today?
Clears throat. Speaks calmly. Hi. I would like to return this shirt. I washed it according to the label, but it shrank significantly. Unfortunately, I do not have the paper receipt with me, but I paid with my credit card. Is it possible for you to look up the purchase?
I can certainly try to look it up. Do you remember approximately what day you bought it?
Yes. It was last Saturday, around 3 p.m.
Breaks character. Smiling widely. Oh, Alex, that was absolutely flawless.
Really? It felt a little bit formal, but I was trying to be clear.
It was perfect. You stated the problem. It shrank significantly. You acknowledged the missing receipt without apologizing profusely. And you immediately offered the solution. I paid with my credit card. Is it possible to look it up? You sounded like a confident, reasonable customer.
It feels much safer to have a script like that. When I'm nervous, I either explain, "I am so sorry. I lost the receipt. My dog ate it. Please help me," or I get frustrated and sound rude.
And both of those extremes are problematic. Over explaining makes you seem insecure. And getting frustrated puts the employee on the defensive. The problem, acknowledgement, solution formula keeps you perfectly in the middle.
I am definitely writing that formula down. But Sophia, I have to be honest. All of this shopping anxiety, it is exhausting.
I hear you. Say more about that.
Well, there is this deep vulnerability in trying on clothes. You are literally judging your own body. And when you add the language barrier, it feels like you're not even allowed to fully express your discomfort. If a shirt is tight, I want to say, this is restricting my movement and making me feel self-conscious. But instead, I just say, it is small, and I feel like I'm not communicating the real issue.
That is such a profound and valid feeling. We spend so much energy just trying to navigate the transaction that we forget we are allowed to have preferences and feelings about the clothes we wear.
Exactly. In my native language, I can be specific. I can say, the shoulders are too tight, but the waist is loose. In English, I just point and say, the fit is weird.
But the fit is weird is actually a great start, and you can build on that. You can say, the fit is a little weird. The shoulders feel tight, but the waist is loose.
The shoulders feel tight, but the waist is loose. That is so specific and clear.
Yes, and using words like tight, loose, comfortable, or restricting are all perfectly natural B1, B2 ways to describe clothing. You do not need to be a fashion designer to use them.
That makes me feel better. I do not need a huge vocabulary. I just need the right descriptive words.
Exactly. And honestly, Alex, this entire conversation really highlights something important about the language learning journey. We focus so much on the big milestones. Passing a test, giving a presentation. But the real magic happens in these tiny, awkward, everyday moments.
The tiny moments?
Yes. The moment you ask for a different size. The moment you realize store credit is not a personality compliment. The moment you confidently say, "Do you happen to have this in a medium?" Those are the moments where you are actually living the language. You're not just studying it, you're using it to navigate your life and advocate for yourself.
That is a really beautiful way to look at it. I usually just think of those moments as embarrassing failures, but they are actually proof of progress.
Exactly. Every awkward question is a victory. Every misunderstood phrase is a lesson learned. You are building your confidence one fitting room visit at a time.
One fitting room visit at a time. I like that. I'm going to use that.
You should. Now, to wrap up our retail survival guide, I want to do a quick rapid fire scenario game. Shopping edition. I will give you a situation, and you give me your immediate, natural response. No overthinking.
Okay. My credit is purely financial, and I am definitely one whole person. Hit me.
Scenario 1. You are in a store, and you cannot find your size on the rack. You see an employee folding shirts nearby.
I would walk up and say, "Excuse me, do you happen to have this shirt in a size medium? Or is it sold out?"
Perfect. Polite. Specific. And gives them a chance to check the back room. Scenario 2. You are at the register, and the cashier says, "Would you like to sign up for our rewards program?" It is free, but you do not want to give them your email.
I would smile and say, "No, thank you. I'm just going to check out as a guest today."
Excellent. Check out as a guest is the exact right phrase. It is polite but firm. Scenario 3. You buy a pair of shoes. You get home, and you realize they are a half. Size too small. You have the receipt and the box.
I would go back to the store and say, "Hi, I bought these yesterday, but they are a bit too tight. I have the receipt and the box. Could I exchange them for a half? Size larger?"
Yes, flawless. You stated the issue, confirmed you have the requirements, and asked for a specific solution. Scenario 4. The item you want to buy has a final sale tag, but you're not sure if it fits well.
I would say to myself, "Do not buy it. Final sale means no returns." And then I would put it back.
Laughs, the wisest answer of all. Sometimes the best English phrase is the one you say to yourself in your head.
It is true. I have learned my lesson. I will never trust a final sale tag again.
Good. Because that jacket is probably still sitting in that store, waiting for its next victim.
Laughs, I hope so. Thank you, Sophia. This conversation was exactly what I needed. I feel so much more confident about walking into a store, navigating the fitting room, and handling returns without accidentally complimenting the staff on my own reputation.
I am so glad to hear that. Alex! And to all our listeners out there, if you feel anxious about shopping or returning items in English, remember this: it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to not have the receipt. And store credit is just money, not a personality test.
And if an attendant asks you how many pieces, just hold up the hangers and remember, you are one whole person, and you deserve a jacket that does not rip.
Exactly. We will see you all next time. Keep your receipts safe. Your fitting room requests polite. And bye, Alex.
Bye, Sophia.